felt one of the points that I really took notice on was the part where you said, yeah, you wrote a book on basically 12 days, because I think there's a big difference in forcing things in life and just letting it flow.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
if you take this podcast, for example, we've been running it for 4 years. I never asked you to come on the show, even though you're Danish, you're well known. But I don't know when we got in touch, maybe last week, because I felt this is the right moment. Lars has a hedge fund, the podcast is big, let's do it. Instead of like using 3 years of my life forcing you to get on. So sometimes I feel like people are forcing stuff in their life when they really should not be forcing stuff, because it should just come naturally. If you have an idea, I want to write a bestseller book, I feel like that's a bad place to start. While you were, I have an insight. Let me put out that insight, and today people want to know that what that insight is, right?
right. That you can also prepare for that luck. So, for instance, I get a lot of ideas, and one of the things I often do is I have an idea for a company or service, and sometimes I go out and register a domain that would be suitable, so a good name. But I actually don't start the company, and the reason I don't start it is then I talk with people and I explain them what it would be, and if nobody seems to be excited, I can't get anybody who wants to join me in it, then I just don't do it, and I just have it like on store. And there's an example in 2009. I wrote a book called Supertrends, and that in that when I'd finished the book, I thought I would promote it with a list of 100 things that would happen in the future. And then I was flipping through this quite big book, and even though it was a big book full of details, it was a bit of a struggle for me to find 100 exact, precisely described events in the future. I did, I managed to do it, but then I thought something wrong here, because I'm writing about the future and there will be thousands of significant events in the future, even in the, the likely rest of my life. And I actually don't know what they are. And nobody knows what they are. In order to know what all these significant events are, we have to go out and ask thousands of experts who work on nuclear fusion and cultured meat and all the rest of it, and ask them, what are the significant events that will happen within what you work on, and when do you think it will happen, and what is it, and which impact will it have? So there in 2009, I had that idea. I bought the name supertrends.com from an evil squatter, overpaying a lot. And then I described the idea of making a service where we would compile all this information from experts. Nobody really got enthusiastic. Then a year and a half ago, I talked about it again, and then suddenly there was somebody who was enthusiastic. And then we started sitting in different work group with teams of students and others, and to create a business case for it and to outline how it should be. And then we thought, okay, we need to code this. And the first one we could think of is a Danish guy that lives in Switzerland who has a software company called Trifork. So I wrote to him the short description and said, we'd like to do this. Could you meet and give an offer for coding the thing? Then we meet him, and then he said, yeah, I can do this, or we can do this on one condition. I want to be your 50-50 partner. I said, ooh, why? And then he said, because we have conferences about technology every year, and what we do when people go for lunch or for dinner is we put up a whiteboard, and then we draw with a marker timeline. And then we write a question like, when will quantum computing be able to mine all Bitcoins or something like that? And then people should take magnets and put them on the timeline. And so what you described is software crowdsourcing to do the same. And since we've been doing this in a very primitive way for 10 years, it's right down our alley, and that's why we want to be your partner. So certainly there's somebody who's enthusiastic, and now we are putting a lot of muscle into this project and are very far with it.